Hi, this is KARL-JAMES Langford. This is one of my lectures from the way distant past, about 10 years ago. I used to actually teach putting my information on rolls of wallpaper. And 10 years ago, a very long time ago, but that's how I used to teach. And I kept these rolls. So before I actually chuck these rolls out, let's just see if we can find some intriguing detail off these rolls that might help some of you guys. So we're looking at 700 years BC, and I'm saying this is stage one, when we are developing farmsteads and then coming on to defended enclosures, and that is at the start of the Iron Age in Britain. And then back then, I said stage two was by about 300 years BC. We're looking at farmsteads, villages, and then the idea of hill forts developing. Now, what I call hill forts today are bank and ditched enclosures. And then this takes us to this period here, 55, 54 BC. And the significance of this is the period of Julius Caesar's involvement in Britain. And then we go to stage three, enclosed farmsteads. So we've got the sense of insecurity, and we've got the landscape down to smaller farmsteads, actually enclosed banks and ditches. What's going on? That's something else. So whatever this lecture was about, we then went to 555 BC Babylon. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this is about, this next bit, but I mentioned Stukely, Leland and Aubrey. So I think the idea of this is these are the early antiquarians from the 1700s in Britain. And then you've got why? Bit disjointed. So you've got, what has this got to do with 800 BC Greece? Well, 800 BC Greece is an advanced, developed civilization as opposed to what we're seeing within our own landscape in Britain. And we got the sense of the word power. So this is all about developing power across the landscape. And what is this biscuit-like thing? So I'm just trying to remember all this from my early lectures. This biscuit-like thing, I think, denotes back away from Greece and all the rest of it, back to Britain. This central thing here is the central bank and ditched enclosure with all these little sort of farmsteads and stuff around the outside, which was developed Britain by around the birth of Jesus Christ. So as you go down to this bit here, 41 Jim's age. Now, we used to have a chap in Barry called Jim, who's no longer with us, who used to come along to the lectures. What we're talking about is ages within history and archaeology, the Iron Age, the Bronze Age being sort of named specifically about something. I.e. in Europe we got different ages, like the age of the pharaohs, ancient Egypt and so on, the age of Alexander the Great. So all different parts of Britain have different sort of ages. So here you go, 700 BC, 300 years BC. This is sort of going back to the original lecture. Univallet means a single ditch around the site. And as these bank and ditched enclosures develop, we've got 300 years BC to 55, 54 BC, this Julius Caesar thing, multiple banks and ditches, which are meant to show off, to try and impress. And we go to this area here, the sense of the central HQ, the central area. And then, strangely enough, this must have been a 2-hour lecture, but it's over. Imported goods, pottery, hall, bones. This is all to do with the developing civilization in Britain up to the point of Julius Caesar. So this is one lecture over and done with. End of part one.